And with the Firefly down, he cannot.
Don't know where to attack right now. Mid tower is still very healthy. Bottom tower was at a 3rd HP, but now it's healed back up by the living armor, and they're just keep the train rolling, but there is just nowhere for them to go except for farm, and they don't want to farm.
You got to give props to Ig.V. They've read VP's timing perfectly. He's timing perfectly. He's timing perfectly. He's timing perfectly.
A tough task.
Everyone's going to moonwalk for just a moment. We'll pause up and get a little bit more stable. So we can always just laugh it off. But yeah, Q, maybe once that armlet is there for Ramses, he can force the issue a lot harder. Force rotations out from Ig.V, because right now it feels like Ig.V are committing only just the bare minimum to hold the lane, to drag the lane back.
I think overall, though, this is going much better for IG Vitality. VP maybe not expecting such a staunch early game from IG.
That's a support player right there, everybody. That's burning.
With this set,
It's a very, very nice set. Crafted in gold. Hi, everybody.
we're admiring the models.
Yeah, that's what it's like. We've got mood lighting down here in the theater. It's a beautiful theater as well. The atmosphere is nice to actually bring a Valve Major back into a theater environment after Ben and Royal Hall.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful.
It's cozy.
It is. It really is. It's a lot more intimate.
Yeah, I can almost touch crowd.
Almost. They're just there. They're just there. So man, like this game is a lot closer. Like when I woke up this morning, I'm like, okay, VP versus Ig.V. I'm not expecting it to be as close after Ig.V's performance during the group stage, but they really seem to have, in the last 2 days, because each team had a 2-day break coming into this, maybe even a little bit more if you played in the Group A. They've taken their time, they've looked at VP, and VP did exactly what we were expecting for them in the draft, and Ig.V, at least they've got their draft in position to help them win here.
But that's the thing about VP's draft. All 5 of their heroes you could have probably easily predicted, especially with the bans coming out in the first phase Luna from IG Vitality, and there's a couple differing theories on the draft. One is like pick if you win, just keep picking the same thing until someone breaks you, or just change it up every game so they never know what's coming. So it's kind of like Wing's philosophy versus VP's philosophy, and VP have yet to really be tested, especially in the group stage where they just steamrolled everyone. But I would say this Treant Protector pick is causing a lot of difficulties for VP, and it's just slowing them down a lot. Even faring over a Dust or a Sentry Wars can stall precious seconds, and all these towers still alive is a big problem.
And wasn't it Lil who said during an interview over at the summit, the fact like if they have to change up, like if someone does force them into a different position, like they would only have to reveal maybe 10% of their strats in order to get back on top. So we're back into the game now, so everything is smooth for the players, and we continue this battle where we left off. VP was trying to bring down the tier 1 tower and bottom lane. Ig.V are in a good position to trade, so they're now pushing the tier 1 tower with the regeneration of Burning, that little babysitting of in July, and the damage that comes in from a Luna. It's a straight tier 1 for tier 1 tower trade-off, so eventually it was going to happen. But Ig.V managed to stall out long enough, they get themselves a good trade-off.
And bringing up the items, I see that IG Vitality have heavily committed to raindrops. They have 4 raindrops on their side right now, and only 1 on the side of VP, so they just do not want to... Look, there hasn't been any fights, really, so it's like, do you expect to be able to farm, or do you want to actually fight a lot? And judging by this and this smoke, they are ready to get some kills.
That smoke happened right underneath the Radiant Observer Ward, so Virtus Pro are very aware what Ig.V are doing. It was a ward that was placed down a long time ago by Solo.
Yep.
So all they wait for is the mid gank. So even if the smoke's going to fail, you want no one to reveal himself. You want someone to show themselves because you just move around and run this with this Luna, just a straight pressure, tier 1 to tier 1, and you catch out VP before they're willing to defend. The Dragon Knight form was already triggered. You do not have this. So instead it's going to have to be Lil combining up, and yeah, here comes VP. Coming in force, Solo can't get disruption off. He was moving to the front lines to try it. As all VP get is the amplification over on the Batrider.
They're also struggling for one of their ultimates. Shadow Demon is the only hero in this game that does not have his level 6. Which could be a problem.
Not certain if Ig.V. With one person up the hill, they would have seen that smoke. So Ig.V now disappear into the trees. Quite literally with the Tree and Protector. And as VP, who are now going to attack, so they're going to attack into Ig.V.
There is very little way they can push into this. And no blink daggers on either side, so daytime means very little chance of actually getting a kill, but now that nighttime has descended upon us, might be time for them to make some more aggressive maneuvers. Now the DK has to be very, very scared when farming his jungle. They don't really have great vision on that bottom side of the map, which would be a great attack angle for Vitality to come from. Shadow Demon kind of sitting behind.
Have we really turned this into 5-man Dota? Paparazzi was able to find a double damage rune in the bot river, so farming up the quick, there was just a 1 ancient stack for him.
I think this definitely favors Vitality. They have a much better team fight. And VP, which of their heroes are good at team fight? Just the Darkseer, really. I'm looking at the other 4, and they have a fair amount of damage, but a lot of it single target.
And until you get the blink daggers, is it really that effective?
Yeah, they need maybe a big vacuum crush, but that's pretty hard to pull off in this. And the Lifestealer is always going to be hindered by the Tree and Protector. And of course, they have to worry about the magic damage output from the Luna and the Timbersaw before any BKBs come out.
So as I said, VP just turned this into just a little bit more of a split game again. So the tier 1 tower in the top lane is being harassed down with the Dragon Knight triggering his form. Wants this kill because this will allow no one to finish up his armor. But Ig.V, again we go into it. A 1-for-1 trade, tit for tat. It'll be the tier 1 tower that Ig.V want in the mid.
They're doing a 3-man smoke though. And they're leaving the DK up on top, so IG Vitality may be a little bit wary.
He has the TP scroll available, so this can still be a fight. The tier 1 tower's already taken, and Ig.V now heading to the south.
They're pinging them out, but IG Vitality are sticking together as a ball, and most of them are just stacked behind the Luna just in case one of them gets caught out. They have a ward to drop their tracks behind. Will it pop the smoke? Yes, it will.
So Lil gets revealed. And he's only just close enough to do that too.
And IG Vitality head straight back to mid. They don't want to lose a tower.
Well, they're becoming a lot more confident to fight now. Luna's just completed a Commander style, flying out with a level 2 ultimate from her. Do that too. He's still getting
IG
close,
Vitality head straight back to mid.
The detection being that close to your own tower, not really possible. They know there's a sentry ward because their other one got de-warded.
It's much better for them to defend so they can heal the tower and then make a favorable trade later. This T1 tower, especially important for them because Luna wants to farm Ancients over and over again as much as you can.
There's so little in this game. I got a smoke maneuver from Ig.V, but this network's really close. Like, not even 100 gold in it at the moment.
They saw Pasha TP bottom. That will be their target, but he is surged and he is gone.
Well, even if they don't kill Pasha, the Luna's going to force the lane out. With 4 points up in Glaive, she pushes really, really quickly. And July is searching in around the tower, so they realize that no one's there to defend. They even scanned just beforehand, no one to pick off, so this is just going to be a tier 1 tower. And Virtus Pro, for the first time, they're not in position to get a counter tower
Lil's
straight
getting
away.
A lot of space, though. Lil's just farming the top lane. He was sitting at 300, 400 gold maybe just a few minutes ago, but now closing in on his Blink Dagger halfway there. IG Vitality, do they want to defend this mid tower? I don't think that they're set up in position to do so, especially with that Observer Ward behind the T1 tower and Lil wrapping around.
Do they see him? They see him. The sentry ward's there. Q's going to be revealed. A quick crush and a quick kill. Very deep into the Observer and sentry, just to the southeast of the mid tier 1. So it's the kill and a tier 1 tower trade-off here from VP and IG.
Yeah, 3 of their Observer Wards are set up in the mid lane. And they committed a lot just for a tree kill, lost a T1 tower in the process, but Lil still kind of just away from his team, doing his own thing.
Is that team fight timing you're talking about? Just build up to it, be patient. That's all VP need to do. If you take a really bad engagement here, which is also very possible, all you do is just you feed the Luna. And then you'll have no way to deal with her.
Especially before BKBs. And I think that's the sort of game where if you're the Slardar, you kind of want to aim for a BKB going in late, or else the Timbersaw will just destroy you every time you go inside the fight. So I also think it's important for the Slardar to stay alive so you can amp multiple people. They don't have a really good way to take it off aside from the Manta on the Luna right now. So I think Lil is a very important hero in this game.
As long as he doesn't die, Lil, okay. Action Fake Crush, the bounty rune.
And despite all this farming, Timbersaw is actually pretty far behind. He is number 4 in net worth and has not gotten his Bloodstone yet.
In July, tried to slip over bottom lane. The pings already came out. I think he's asking for another invis. Solo started his TP. Lil's on the run out. So it's Virtus Pro understanding the movements here of Ig.V. They don't really have that many deep wards to find Ig.V's movements. They see Burning stacking thanks to the Observer ward. That's right next to Sentry. That was what helped VP in the last fight. And the other one's sitting right in front of the tier 2 tower. So they don't see much more outside of the mid lane. The jungles are very, very dark for them.
But Luna's just been taking stack after stack after stack.
She's about to hit the 10,000 net worth. Nice little mark for her. Already with the Dragon Lance, already with the Mana Style. The range is good. The disengage and confusion from Manta is also good.
I think it's about time for VP to fight, though. They have the Blink Dagger on Slardar, they have a DD in No One's Bottle, and Lifestealer has his Echo Saber. Most of his items are complete, aside from perhaps a Desolator.
It's also IG's time to fight. They're getting far enough away from that Observer ward. In fact, Burning is de-warding it at the moment. That they can do something with the Blink Dagger, which is freshly onto in July.
I would say it's a fairly predictable smoke, though, because Batrider's not showing, and then they just de-warded and they're all grouped up around mid. So if they do it, I think VP will kind of expect it at this particular moment.
So what else do you try and attempt? Like, you just keep farming?
You can maybe make a Roach play, but VP already have Observer wards in the area, and they have eyes on Burning, so...
Maybe even time for a gem, then get it up on the Batrider. Risky when you still want to run a Tree and Protector.
So now they see in July. He thinks he's safe with the Nature's Guides, but Tree and Protector had died there not too long ago, and with the Observer Ward Sentry combo, Blink Dagger will be revealed.
He kind of has to know. Like with the way the fight happened previously, unless I think it just timed out. Treant's walking around with a Sentry, but he's just dropped it. In the bottom part of the river, so VP smoke up. They're about to cross over with that Observer Ward that is see a lot, but in July, up on the cliffside, breaks it. The blind Blink Crush won't work. Tree Protector gets a huge holding. 5 caught inside of it. With the Eclipse damage, need to do more. But the Darkseer, the back wall, it may be enough, or will it? It's a 1-for-1 trade up. The Death Ward is doing its work, but the Batrider, it's Ig.V coming out on top. VP forced back. The Blink Rush into work. In July is not done just yet. He wants Pasha. They need to get closer. Sakata gets in behind Solo, and with the sticky napalm, he can't even turn fast enough. Paparazzi, a double kill for him. In July, kills off Pasha. It's a team wipe. The favorites Virtus Pro just lost everything to Ig.V.
That was phenomenal positioning from the Batrider. He hit in the trees, he popped the smoke on the back line, and overall their positioning was just great. It's up the hill on the Ancients, and VP, they wanted to fight under the Observer Ward, but IG Vitality, they didn't make the obvious play. Like, a lot of their plays have just been not by the books. Batrider fighting way before his Blink Dagger, not even going for the Blink Dagger first, not smoking as soon as they get the Blink Dagger, and VP, they're expecting all of these things to happen, and they're getting punished when they're like, okay, I guess we should do something because things aren't playing out the way that they wanted it to.
It's spiraling out of control. The graphs just plummet down. It's like right now it's only a 3,500 swing for the net worth, but let's actually have a quick look at it again. So there's Lil's initiation, and Q at this point roots the entire VP lineup.
And the Eclipse comes out, and everyone is just clumped up around. They're trying to get all the illusions from the Wall of Replica, but Timbersaw is just so good at cleaning up in this sort of situation, and what great positioning by the Tree and Protector. dodging the Blink Crush, getting a 5-man root, and staying alive.
And judging by that camera view is steaming up in the Ig.V box, they are looking good. They just need to keep that momentum going. There's your graph plummet. VP need to stabilize, but Ig.V are definitely the ones in the driver's seats.
They just, I think, need probably 1 Force Staff, maybe a 2, I guess, on top of the Bat Riders, just so they can save someone from the Blink Crush. If they can save someone from that, then they can kite the Life Stealer easily with Root, and then after that, most of their damage will be gone, because Slardar is nowhere close to a BKB, and he is just going to perish, and after that, they don't really have too much control with the Vice. DK does not do that much damage. He's also forced to get a BKB because of this Timbersaw pick.
And with all of this, with no money for Monkey King bars, Paparazzi looks even better. Just walking around with casual evasion, but once this is a butterfly, they're still in trouble, and Ig.V, they're knocking on the bottom door. They want to come into the VP base, so it took 21 minutes and a bit. Burning's the first one to do damage to the tower, and now they're actually TPing out. They get VP to return home.
But look at the observer wards that they've set up. VP have been hailed as one of the best in this patch because of their ability to set up great vision. But now that they've lost fights, they've lost map control, that are losing out in the farm battle, I don't really know if they can keep up their network of vision.
Well, they're trying to. This is the reason why Solo smokes. Puts down 2 observer wards in the bottom river area.
Yeah, it's probably time for the Bat Rider to get a gem. Maybe if they secure the Aegis first, it's still a little bit risky to fight around the pit. I think DK's pretty good in the pit, as well as the Darkseer especially.
Yeah, it seems like a risk that they just don't need to take, but it looks like in July they're going to hover around it.
They still want to fight.
You have the double damage rune on the Luna, and this may just be enough to encourage them to go in.
Yeah, but VP certainly know what's up, and they certainly will not let this go for free.
No, they have to fight. Fresh item of the Desolator over on the Life Stealer, so you'll have that for this fight, but they send illusions down from the SD to have a look towards the pit, with the Observer Ward and the Sentries down, they're right on top of each other. Ig.V, they're pulling out of the pit. So VP got the information that Roshan's down to 50%.
Yeah, there's not that many blind spots for IG Vitality, but that is one of them. The northwest of the Roshan pit. And they have to wait for them to walk into that Observer Ward. If they push mid T2, I wonder how IG Vitality are going to react. Might just be time for them to work on the Roshan, but without the DD, it's not going to drop that quickly.
Roshan, they're going to 5-man smoke.
Yeah, he's at 50% HP, so now they're going to be scouting inside the pit with those Solar Illusions.
IGV's coming to fight. They're coming to fight. So it's just illusions. The body blocking of the illusions, it just pings. It just pings. Solo knew what was happening, so then they just jump forward looking for the SD down to half-life. The back 3-man ball and cross! VP! They hit the mark! Injuly has to force-starve himself away on low life. But the Luna and the Timbersaw will drop. Timber won't be down for long, thanks to Bloodstone charges. The Solo's positioning, noticing the illusions not having clear pathing, allowed VP just to set up properly, but they're going to go on for Roshan. He's down low with the amplification. Sharkham causing some problems, but it's still Radiant. They get 1 the kill on Roshan, and 2 pick up the Aegis. As we have ourselves a small little pause. This is actually a huge time to pause, because that Flame Break's going to push a little onto the hill.
VP is just really smart about fighting, how they took that last engagement. If SD dies, not the worst thing in the world. It's not like he really has any items.
Oh, Lil gets down just in time, so the Flame Break doesn't push anybody around.
Yeah, and Luna just got blown up so quickly. And she might need a BKB herself to deal with the vacuum wall. Her illusion is going to hurt her team a lot if she gets vacuumed into it.
Which means more time that Ig.V have to stall up. So the fight was good, and with Roshan, they repair all the damage of gold as well as experience. So the game starts to level up more.
Yeah, the blink from Pasha really making the big difference in that last team fight. They need Timbersaw to be... He was out in front. He got a decent amount of damage on a Shadow Demon, but then he backed up immediately after. They need him to provide the vision for the team fights. He needs to be the big bad bruiser in front. So, if you go on him, you're going to lose the fight. But if he retreats, then Luna's left vulnerable to these blink initiations from VP.
Which is why Luna, even if you do have a BKB, you may not get it off in time. Satanic may be the other way, just have the strength to survive, and then just, yep, that'll work. The VP, they're already prepping to fight once more. Looking down that mid lane. And they're bringing everybody. They don't have the best momentum in the side lanes. It's going the way of Ig.V on the top, even with a catapult behind it.
They have to be careful though. The Luna is still very, very strong. She has Butterfly. She's like way ahead in net worth at the moment. So can't be too reckless with this siege. And Sakata's still, you know, very, very far back, just scared of immediately dying.
There goes the tier 2 tower.
Maybe once he gets his plate mail on that timber, he can play more aggressively. But he's just very, very scared.
So that's the downside of right about going for this Yule Scepter build. You can't just get that straight Shivas, but you can still PMS and you can pick up that plate mail now.
Yeah, he probably wants some way to get rid of the amplified damage. But as long as he doesn't die to the initial burst, he should be fine once he builds up some stacks. And Gem has been picked up by in July, and we'll take this time to get rid of some of the VP vision. They have 3 observer wards around the middle. Again, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get them all.
Kind of like a risky situation, right? You know the Slaughter could be there ready to blink on you. And they don't have vision of Lil at the moment. In fact, now with the Chakrams from Sakata, they will.
So that's 2 observer wards down. 2 more, a little bit away from the Roshan pit.
They didn't find the sentry. It's a little bit more covered up. Normally that wouldn't be as important, but the fact you're running a Train Protector and they're trying to make the most out of that invis time. But
Yeah.
now he's going to see it with the Firefly.
I'm not sure if he saw the one that Lil is standing on top of right now.
They pinged it. He got just close enough for it. But it's, again, like, it's the wrong side of the river that Ig.V just cannot move to unless they go in force.
And Luna, looks like signs of a BKB are coming out. Ogre Club in the stash.
Alright, so she'll go for the immunity. Fantastic thing during the fight. Already got ways to get rid of the amplification. Now, there's no extra stuns. Won't fear that Dark Seer initiation as much either.
Even more than that, there's like the disruption on her, which her illusions do a lot of damage. You don't really want to give SD free damage, although I guess you can replicate a Manta illusion.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal, but the Breathe Fire also limits a lot of her damage because she has so much agility at the moment.
Timber's pushing in the mid, so VP. They will get to claim this tier 2 tower, Ig.V. There's no reason to slow this down. Like, may fortify so they can push in through the top lane and try and get a tier 2 tower of their own, but Ig.V are not committing to the push. They're moving back again, looking to farm, and looks like they just don't want to fight until Luna has that BKB.
Or while Lifestealer has an Aegis. Losing the gem right now would set them back a good amount of time.
And they only have to wait 50 seconds, and then that Aegis is gone.
Yeah, Lifestealer does not have that much in his defense. He's going very heavy on the damage. Just really the armlet from the armor from the armlet to help him survive.
Like going Yasha as opposed to something else, like, well, Basher, or maybe even more defensive for his team with the AC.
He might be going Manta. It's a common pickup on Strength Heroes to deal with the root from the Train Protector. You don't want to have to use your Infest, and you can't wait for a Rage. Or else you might just get lassoed without your rage up and just die. So this way he can be more self-sufficient, and he can't rely on the Shadow Demon in this game because Shadow Demon is still very poor, but he is going for the Scepter. Great way to deal with the Luna in the late game. Might have to get a Hurricane Pike to not get kited in the fights later on.
Oh, Aegis has now been reclaimed. It's a long Shan spawn timer, so 2.5 out of the 3 potential minutes. But both these teams will have to wait. The BKB over on Luna. Ig.V is in a decent position to try and look for an engagement if they wish.
They need more on the supports of IG Vitality. The Train Protector is just bare bones in his Arcane plus
They're literally,
support items.
literally the same items right now.
Yeah, Witch Doctor Scepter is also something that you probably want to aim for in the late game, similar to how the Shadow Demon is that versus this many melee heroes. It would do a lot of damage.
Well, instead, they seem to be very much focusing on the Yule Scepter build. Yeah. Unless that's going to be...
He's going for a force.
It'll be a 4-stop, so it's just the movement speed with the lace.
Great at kiting a DK. I guess a Lotus would actually be pretty useful. I don't know who would farm it. I guess the Timber saw him, but he definitely needs the armor from the Shivas first before he can think about a Lotus. And Shadow Demon lays some wards in mid.
Well, the Luna is the only one close enough to it at the moment. The rest of Ig.V are being put into Nature's guise.
And they don't actually have too much tech on the Radiant side either. They could easily get caught out by a Batrider who's under Nature's Guise. But I like the way they move. They're like constantly seeking to get better position. Like if IG Vitality come to them, they're IG Vitality are going to lose the team fight because they'll be able to either kite the Luna while she's BKB'd or pop her before her BKB is activated. And the only time that they've lost a big fight, really the only fight that, one of the only 2 fights that they've taken was on IG's terms up onto their secret shop. But now this is a little bit of a compromising position. They're on flat ground. They don't have vision behind the tower, so this could be a maneuver for Batrider to Firefly through the top side, which they're actually maybe kind of expecting with Lifesteal's positioning.
Well, here it comes in July, jumping around the back. The Firefly vision sees Pash with a jump forward. He found the real DK. No one dragged in with the eclipse. No one so low. Gets his BKB up at the back wall. Space is being created now for Virtus Pro. The eclipse still doing work. But will it be enough? The BKB Luna now wears off. Ramsey's one more hit will do it. Burning looks for the body block. The force up. The crush from Lil won't do enough. But maybe with the elusive beam, Slaughter trapped inside the base. They're just chasing him in deeper. Ig.V down to just a few heroes, but it's VP who assault into that tier 3 tower. Lil has managed to go on for a long wander straight past the fountain, past the tier 4 towers, and out through the bottom of the base. He'll rejoin the rest of his teammates in a bit. The Virtus Pro making the most of the time they've got. Bring down the tier 3 tower, now into the melee racks as well. Ig.V, they just don't have the defense against it.
Wow, no one was so close to dying at the beginning of the fight, which would have been a completely different story. And again, they get a huge vacuum crush wall. Yeah, you have to admire VP's ability to teamfight.
Also the patience, like we're seeing a very different game style. Fog was mentioning the fact that we've had a couple of CIS teams, Team Empire and VP are normally the ones which go high up on the list of struggling at the Valve major events, but Virtus Pro, they're showing their depth, not just in their draft, because this is obviously not depth in their draft with what they've got here, but in their play style. They're happy to go hyper-aggressive. They can play the very stalled trade-off style of gameplay.
And they also have a lot of confidence plays. Like before that, it was pretty much 0 net worth, which is very difficult to push into a T2 tower against a Batrider. And they were just confident that they'd be able to get the BKBs off and not die. And